Hello guys, Andrew back again, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video I've been wanting to make for such a long time. I'm going to be going through each city in England and one or two in other British Isles, and I'm going to be talking about who I personally think is the biggest club in that area, so this should be fun. So we're going to begin in the South Coast. Now there's a few clubs in the South Coast like Southampton, Portsmouth, Brighton and Bournemouth. Now Brighton and Bournemouth, they're nowhere really near Southampton or Portsmouth for big club. So I'm just going to dumb it down between those two. Now Pompey have won 2 league titles and 2 FA Cups, which is really respectable in my opinion for a club like Pompey. Southampton have only ever won 1 trophy. It was the FA Cup in 1976, and yes, but the thing about Southampton is, I think they've had much bigger players, and I think the fan base kind of tilts towards Southampton a bit. So this is kind of a tough one we're already on. I do think the trophies won and competitions and players and all that, Pompey had a brilliant team back in about 10 years ago, or something like that, where they had like Jermaine Defoe and they had Peter Crouch back in his prime, and really good team. I personally think Portsmouth are the biggest club around the South Coast. Bristol. Now this is a bit of a weird one to do, in my opinion, because neither of the Bristol clubs are that big. No club in Bristol has ever won a trophy, believe it or not. I'm going to go with Bristol City because they've been in the top flight more. They were promoted in like the 60s and something like that. They've had good promotion chases since that. Like in 2008, they barely missed out on going up to the Premier League thanks to Hull. Yeah. But they've had spells in League One as well, but Bristol Rovers, I think they've only been in the Championship like once or twice, if that. It's not good for them. The Midlands now. The Midlands is an interesting one. There's a few clubs. I'm not going to go with Birmingham and West Brom. I'm not. Because they haven't won enough, in my opinion. Villa and Wolves have just really, really set the pace in the Midlands, and yeah, they've won trophies, West Brom and Birmingham, but they're not as big. So, Villa and Wolves. Now, league titles, Villa have won 7, Wolves have won 3. FA Cups, Villa have won 7, Wolves have got 4. League Cups, Villa have got 5. They're one of the biggest clubs for winning the League Cup, and Wolves have got 2. Now, European Cups, Wolves are one of the teams who actually found the European Cup, I believe. Because in the 50s they got challenged to a game because they thought they were the best team in Europe. And if it wasn't for Wolves deciding to make that idea, there would be no Champions League today probably. So Wolves really helped with that. But Villa have won it in 1982. They won the Champions League. And it's their biggest honour till today. And Wolves' only European real bit of note was 1972. They reached the Europa League final and lost it. Liverpool. Now, I'm going to try and be as unbiased as possible for Liverpool, okay? Now, league titles, Liverpool have won 18, Everton have won 9. FA Cup, Liverpool have won 7, Everton have won 5. We've won 8 League Cups. Everton have never won the League Cup. They've been runners-up twice. I'm a bit surprised at that. Liverpool won 6 Champions League and 3 Europa Leagues. Everton's only real note in Europe was in 85. They won the Cup Winners' Cup. Now, I'm not trying to be biased, but I'm pretty damn certain Liverpool are the biggest club in Liverpool. But considering also Everton have not won a trophy since 1995. That's 25 years without a trophy. I read something that only Oldham have been longer without lifting a trophy. like any trophy in the world. Like, not in the world, but in England. Out of England. Yeah, Oldham are the only one who haven't. Manchester. We've got Man City and Man United now. Right, I'll go through it. League titles, City have got 6, United have got 20. FA Cup, City have got 6, United have 12. League Cups, City have 7, United have 5. City have won more League Cups than Man United. United have won 3 Champions Leagues though, and City haven't, and they've won a Europa League. But City did win the Cup Winners' Cup in 1970. United never won that. Neither did Liverpool, to be honest, but we forget that. Just don't mention that trophy. Yeah, not good. And yeah, but I'm gonna say Man United are the biggest club in Manchester. City, I think City have got the biggest fan base in Manchester. Not over the world, but in Manchester, I think City have got the biggest fan base. And yeah, I think United are just the biggest club in Manchester. They've won the trophies to prove it. They've had the players. City have only been a huge club in like the last 10 years or so. So I'm sorry, City, but United are the biggest club in Manchester. Yorkshire now, there's a few in Yorkshire. Huddersfield didn't get mentioned. Maybe they should have. Huddersfield, back in the early days of football, were one of the biggest clubs in England. They won loads of stuff. But I've dumbed it down to Leeds, Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United. Now, this is a bit surprising. Leeds have only ever won 5 trophies. 3 league titles, 1 FA Cup and 1 League Cup. Not that brilliant. Sheffield Wednesday have 4 leagues, 3 FA Cups and 1 League Cup. And Sheffield United have got 1 league and 4 FA Cups. They might have the most FA Cups, Sheffield United, but I just don't think they're up there with Leeds and Wednesday. Personally, even though Wednesday have won more stuff, I still believe Leeds are the biggest club in Yorkshire. I mean, come on. The fan base Leeds have, they've been to the European final even. They're the biggest club in Yorkshire, and I don't even think that's close, really. East Midlands. And we got Nottingham Forest, Derby County and Leicester City really around there. Now, I'm going to be nice to Leicester. The league title win under Ranieri in 2016 was the greatest Premier League fairy tale of all time by a mile. But that does not automatically mean they're the biggest club in East Midlands. No, they're not really. They won 3 League Cups as well. That's really it. Nottingham Forest have won a league title. They've won 2 Champions Leagues, 2 FA Cups and 4 League Cups. Derby, the other club I mentioned, have only ever won 2 leagues and 1 FA Cup. So I'm going to have to go with East Midlands. Nottingham Forest are the biggest club in the East Midlands. Not even close. Now, Newcastle up on time. We've got Newcastle and Sunderland around here now. Both historic clubs who should have won way more than they have, but let's be real. Newcastle only ever won 10 main trophies, Sunderland 8. Now, Sunderland have won more leagues. They've won 6 leagues, Newcastle have only won 4. But Newcastle won 6 FA Cups, the Sunderland's 2. And neither of them have a League Cup medal to their name, despite Sunderland reaching the League Cup final just a few years ago. Yeah, both of them had struggled with time, and so fan base, and Newcastle have been in Europe so much and had a great team in the 90s. In my opinion, that team in the 90s are the best ever team to never have won a league title. I mean, not league title, I mean won a trophy. They never even got to win a trophy. I think Newcastle are much bigger than Sunderland though, so sorry about that. Lancashire. Now we got Bolton, Bolton, Blackburn and Burnley. Right, now, league titles, Bolton have never won a league title or a League Cup, but they won 4 FA Cups, so that's pretty decent. And they've been down to League 2 and gone back up, and I think they have the best stadium out of all of them. We got league titles: Blackburn 3 and Burnley 2. Burnley have only ever won one more trophy, which was an FA Cup. Meanwhile, Blackburn have won 6 FA Cups and a League Cup. And have won the latest trophy. They won the league in 1994. I think it was the 3rd ever Premier League. That's very impressive. They've had Alan Shearer, who I personally think was the greatest player to ever play in the Premier League in his prime, arguably. He won them the league. And I think all of this added together just shows Blackburn are the biggest club in Lancashire. Essex. Now, you have Norwich and Ipswich now. Norwich fans, now I know you've got the upper hand fixture-wise on Ipswich. Not even close on that. But trophy-wise, you've never won the league or the FA Cup. You've only ever won 2 League Cups. That's not that impressive. Ipswich, on the other hand, have won a league title, an FA Cup, and even a Europa League. Isn't that impressive now? I think the fact that they've won a league title and they've won a European trophy means they're the biggest club in Essex. I know Norwich probably have the biggest fan base, and it's kind of tight because of that, but Ipswich have had European honours. I mean, you're not going to beat that with just 2 League Cups. Now, Welsh clubs in England, there's only really Cardiff and Swansea for this. Neither have ever won the league. Both have won a trophy, with Cardiff winning the FA Cup, Swansea have won the League Cup. This is one of the tightest ones for me. Most people would say Cardiff. Now, Cardiff have been in a lot of finals, I do agree. Cardiff, though, European-wise, no. Swansea have been in Europe before. They've had grown players like Boney and Michu. Who remembers them? Even Joe Allen, when he was at Swansea, was bloody brilliant. He was when he was at Swansea. But yeah, I just have to edge for Swansea. The European just shows it. Right, London. We got Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs as the main contenders in London. West Ham, no. Yes, if West Ham were in this, I would add the World Cup. I mean, they keep saying they won the World Cup, so give them that. Right, league titles. Arsenal have won 13, Chelsea have won 6, Spurs have only won 2. Not good from Spurs, even though they've been close on several occasions to winning the league. They bottle it every time. Now, FA Cup. Arsenal have got the most FA Cups with 13 in the whole of England. Chelsea have got 8, Spurs have 8. That's actually not too bad, realistically. But Arsenal do the most FA Cups. League Cups, Arsenal have got 2, not brilliant. And Chelsea got 5 League Cups and Spurs have got 4. Now, this is when it boils down to it. European category now. The Europa League, Arsenal never won. Chelsea have won 2 and Spurs have won 2. And even in back last season, Chelsea even beat Arsenal 4-1 in the Europa League final. That must show something. And as for Cup Winners' Cup, every one of them has won a Cup Winners' Cup. Chelsea have won 2 though, compared to Arsenal and Spurs has 1. So, but the big boiling point here is the Champions League. Arsenal and Spurs have both been to finals and lost, and only been to 1. Chelsea have been to 2, lost 1, won the main one though, and they do have a Champions League trophy to their name. Now, this is tight. Spurs, I'm not going to really be in this. It's between Chelsea and Arsenal, really. I'm going to have to give it to Arsenal. Now, you might say, why? They've barely got any European trophies. Now, Chelsea have only been a big club for like 15 years. That's it. Arsenal have been a big club since the day the club was formed, pretty much. That's why. For me, it doesn't matter if you win trophies like the last 15 years. You've got to go all the way back. Chelsea haven't done it. Yes, I think they've been the most successful club in England in the last 15 years. But for me, it just shows that, Arsenal are still bigger. And as for the special bonus round, I'm going to try and dumb down the hardest one yet, Glasgow, between Celtic and Rangers. Who do I think is the biggest club in Glasgow? Is it Celtic? Is it Rangers? Better find out. Now, league titles, Rangers have won 54 and Celtic have won 51 now. Right, put this into perspective, right? Rangers have been sent all the way down to the 4th division in Scotland, have climbed back up, and still they have more titles than Celtic. That's a huge point now. FA Cup, Celtic have won 39 to Rangers 33, so Celtic have got that. League Cups, so Rangers have hoovered them up. 27 League Cups to Celtic's 19. Yeah. European categories, now this is when it separates the men from the boys, in my opinion. Rangers have got one Cup Winners' Cup. Celtic never won it. But the Champions League, Celtic have been to 2 finals in 1970 and 1967. Celtic won the one in 67 and were the first British team to ever win the European Cup. That's your fact for today. And overall, I have got to give this honour of being the biggest club in Glasgow. It's beyond tight though. I'm going to edge it for Celtic. Just that European Cup has done it. I'm sorry, but it's won it now. That's the end of the video, guys. I hope to see you back. I hope to be back soon with another video. I would like it, if you have any ideas, leave them in the comments section below. If you want me to make a video on whatever you guys want me to make a video on, I will make that video. Until then, peace, boys. See you later.